So this is record back again. We had a little bit of a summer break in the Swedest Deal after the spring of plenty of interviews with some of my old friends that I used to talk to a lot during the years when I was traveling the circuit. Fortunately, things are getting better with the COVID thing, and we're getting back on track. And soon we're going to be able to play live again and travel to tournaments. We really look forward to that. These interviews are sponsored with our friends on Intertops Poker, and that's why our seventh guest today is an old friend of mine that has been with Intertops Poker for quite a while, Tim O'Keefe. I really hope you will enjoy this talk. So I'm talking to Tim O'Keefe, a friend of mine, American guy who's been with Intertops Poker for quite a while. Tim, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Good to talk to you again.
Nice to see you.
It's been a while. How's
Yeah.
how's the last year and a half been for you?
Oh man, crazy, just like everyone else, I'm sure. It's been an interesting year and a half, but poker's kind of taken a back seat and definitely been different. Been a different kind of year. How are things for you guys over there?
Yeah, well, I think for some people, in a way, when COVID came around, some talked about that the internet, the online poker, got a bit of a boost again because
Yeah,
people couldn't
yeah,
go and play live. So, have you been
yeah.
playing a lot online?
I just recently got back into it in the past, couple of months. I work in physical therapy. That's my full-time job. So I was actually working in COVID units with rehab patients for COVID. So it was pretty intense year for me. Definitely, like I said, poker took a back seat, and I'd play the occasional game online and things like that. But we were working probably 60 hours a week in COVID care units doing rehab. So
Would you say you've
as
been
well.
able to deal with it mentally? Did you get any help afterwards to become yourself again, or were you strong enough to deal with it without problems?
I mean, it's been okay. I'm kind of used to it. I've been doing therapy, particularly with like the memory care units. I work in mostly like the nursing home settings in that sense. So it's usually with the elderly population, and a lot of them already have some issues in that sense with Alzheimer's, dementia. So the kind of isolation part was probably the worst in that sense. The sickness part was tough for everybody. The extra care that we had to give everyone, the extra protection we had to take for ourselves, that was tough. But it wasn't as bad as I think a lot of people think it is. But it's definitely not fun. I could do without doing that again.
Yeah.
But no, it was okay. After it was, like I said, just different kind of treats, different kind of care for people. But it seems to be bouncing back pretty good. Hopefully, for now. You never even know. Now it's like they're thinking it might be coming back in a different strain or the variants. So, like I said, let's hope we don't have to do that again.
Yeah.
But you never know.
We might be a little bit better prepared this time around if it will
Oh,
be
for
another
sure.
way, for sure. I mean, no
Oh, yeah.
one knew what's happening since it hadn't been around for 100 years or something. The Spanish
Yeah,
thing, yeah.
for sure. That was the thing. That was probably the biggest problem we had was that there was so much confusion, even from the top. So, like, I mean, literally, government, CDC, everybody was just so confused, and they were changing their minds all the time. So it definitely flowed downhill in that sense, where if they didn't know what they were doing, they would tell us one thing, we would go in and change things, and then literally a week later, they would be like, "Oh, don't do that anymore." That was a
Right.
terrible idea.
Yeah.
So that was wild, where literally just nobody had a real good grasp on how to handle it, and it definitely suffered badly at first. So, like you said, at least if it does start again, we have a much better understanding on how to protect everybody.
Now, I really think it's pretty cool that after this series that I started, a friend of mine, Andreas, that recommended me to get hold of some of the old guys. I talked to Hjalmar on
Oh yeah,
Intertops. So did you see any of the Grano, Greenstein, Hansen, Jakobsson, Dancer, Holloway interviews?
yeah. I was just checking them out a little while ago. I peeked at a few of them when they first came out and stuff, and I was just looking at some of them. just now, and yeah, you got some interesting people on there, man. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing in here.
Of
Uh,
course, you're the
just
you're the you're the average guy, the online player, the guy who kind of grinds it out and isn't that well known among the general public.
I'm the everyday little man right here. We got us in there, and honestly, that was kind of what Intertop's plan was in the first place when I came on, was to show everyone, hey, I'm not any kind of wild pro. I'm no superstar. I was just the everyday guy that was just lucky enough to get involved with them and go on one of their many trips they do for their events for the site. And it just, kind of snowballs from there to be like, hey, if anybody can do it, look at if I can do it, anybody can do it. So that was kind of their pitch, where it was like, hey, it's just a regular guy, like, go for it, take your shot, and see what happens.
So how long is your history with Intertops Poker these days?
Wow, I mean, it's crazy. Even talking to you now, I can't believe it's been so long since we've all been in the same room together.
Yeah.
I feel like Veldon was like still like yesterday.
Yeah.
What's that, 3-4 years ago now?
Yeah, I know. Veldon, Veldon was a lovely place where we gathered, and we've been to we met in Vegas, but when
Vegas
was the first time when you got a deal and working with Intertops and promoting them in a way and playing for them?
So we did. So I discovered Intertops, I think it was 2015. Oh my God.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
That's crazy. Yeah, so it's been about 6 years ago, and I discovered them online and started playing on the site a lot, and just was doing really well. Ran really hot, and actually, like right out the gate, from maybe maybe a month or two playing on the site, I won my first trip from one of the events they do to Seefeld. So it was I went to go to Austria. I'd never been overseas before. It was wild. They're like, yeah, come on, play poker in this tiny ski town on the top of a mountain. I was like, oh, okay, we could do that. So that was 2015, and then it just snowballed from there. Like, went to Seefeld. It was an amazing experience, just absolute great time. And then came back from Seefeld, and like literally that day, jumped back on and won a trip to St. Martin from Intertops again. They had their last event. I just caught it. Like, literally got off the plane, like a 10-hour flight home. We're like, oh, I could probably play some more poker now, right? Straight degenerate, jump back on and win another seat to St. Martin, and that was just epic. We went to St. Martin. It was a blast. We had Larry there. We had Crispy. We had a bunch of regs, bunch of good. I mean, just an absolute blast. A bunch of good people. They had us doing karaoke at one point. It wasn't pretty, but it was good.
But that's been Intertop's idea, I think. You could bring a friend or your wife or whatever on the trips, and that's kind of created some kind of group thing that was really sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really sweet, actually, because on that story, when I came back, so I won the first trip to Seefeld. I had just started dating my wife now. So it was literally, we had been dating for a month or two, and I won the trip from Seefeld, and she was with me. She was in the house at the time and was like, oh, overseas. She's like, oh, all right, I don't want to go to some ski village. Came back and won the St. Martin one, and she's like, and she was right there too for the St. Martin one, and was like, oh, well, I'm going to St. Martin with you. I was like, yeah, that's probably a good choice, if you're gonna go to one.
She thought that island. Yeah, she thought that you were like the main man, the guy, the guy.
Yeah, I looked so good. I was like,
this happens all the time.
I just was. Yeah, totally pulled her right in. Now she's stuck with me.
Yeah, so 6 years later, and you're looking forward to coming out of this bubble and maybe go to some new events with Intertops, right?
Yeah, I've been so fortunate. I mean, we started a Discord and I was talking about someone the other day, and it was wild to think we did St. Martin twice, we did Seefeld twice, I've done Veldon once, and then Vegas this will be the third time going to Vegas with Intertops. So, I mean, in the span of 6 years, it's pretty amazing to be able to travel that much and have that support from Intertops and the events that they put on. It's just, a great time, and just very, very fortunate. I mean,
Yeah, I think that you were able to meet some nice people as well. I remember, I think I was in Felden 3 or 4 times, and the mix of people from all over the world. We had some Hungarians, some guys from
man,
California, some Germans, a guy from Israel. I mean, people from
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, they come from all over. And, it is one of the fun things about those events, and poker in general, I guess, because it's bringing people together from everywhere for one common joy of playing the game together. So, those events are next level when you have all those fun things to do outside of the casino and outside of the tournament. And Intertops does a great job of picking tours and sponsors and events that have. They put on a great show for the series, whatever one it is. So I've been to plenty of the World Series of Poker circuit events and stuff like that are just it's just, for lack of a better word, it's just like they're just dumps. It's like you just go with a bunch of other degenerates and you're sitting in a sweaty, smoky room for a week at a time. And it is what it is. It's fun poker, but it's not the same experience as going someplace like Seafeld or St. Martin, where you can step outside the building and you have this paradise to enjoy right outside, and the group of people that you're with to go actually enjoy all those things. So
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
yeah. I remember. Was it St. Martin a year and a half ago, or it was in November
Yeah.
2019, I think. We
Oh,
went on
yeah.
this 4-wheel drives,
That was class.
and we were all over the place. So that's all good. Well, I mean, when did you start to stream on Twitch then?
I've been streaming since the get-go. So when after Seafeld, we came back and we did St. Martin, and they decided, yeah, hey, we could use a Twitch presence on there if you were willing to get going. So yeah, at the time I was full-time poker. Like that transition and opportunity to meet with Intertops and stuff gave me the push I needed to go, hey, let's just try this full-time for a while. So I took a step back from therapy, and it's like, okay, we'll fire up the Twitch stream. We'll do the live events, with representing Intertops and stuff. So that was like 2016 or so. We picked up Twitch, and we got pretty strong with it for a couple years, and then obviously, with everything that's going on the past like year and a half or so, I think it's probably like that when we went to St. Martin that last time, I was already had transitioned back to therapy full time and was just kind of part-time poker. But just recently, now it's been a rough year. Yeah. So it was nice to, hey, we're going to start poker back up again. And they're wanting to do the WSOP is going to do the Millie Maker. If they're going to do the events, it was like, hey, we're going to start doing these satellites again if you want to fire up the Twitch stream again. So I jumped at the opportunity, obviously. I'd much rather be playing poker than dealing with, COVID patients.
Maybe
I love my job, but we'll take a break from that for a while for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's good to mix it up a little bit, and if you
Yeah,
get the opportunity like this, so you did the Billy Maker satellite on your Twitch stream the other day.
yeah. Just last night we did it. We had quite a few step satellites to build up to it, but then the main event was last night. It was a pretty decent turnout for Intertops, but it's still insane value. It was only about 25 players for a $165 buy-in tournament, and it's for 45,000. That'd be nice. $4,500 package to go to Vegas. So it was a good event. We had a lot of fun. We did it on the stream, and we had a lot of people that were in the stream or were in the tournament. It was good fun, and a player named it's gonna be fun to say. His name's Duty Munch. So I can't wait to have to repeat that a bunch of times on video. But,
So he's gonna go to Vegas and play the Millie Maker. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
One of our regulars, Duty Munch, won the package, and he'll be on there going to Vegas.
That's good.
So
Well, how do you find? How can people find your Twitch stream going to Twitch?
So just honestly, all social media is just Too Fit to Fold, but it's just www.twitch.tv/TooFitToFold. Too Fit to Fold is for my personal blog too, that I've been trying to actually be more up to date with and keep current. And then all across the social media platforms, Too Fit to Fold is is still the Mach-E. We're still running with that
Yeah,
brand.
I remember that, and the two is there's two, and then
Yeah.
FIT, and then two FOLD, right?
Yeah,
Two,
I was
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to make a nice play on the deuces,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of clever with folding. Is like, we did the
It's a
fit
good
or
name.
fold.
I like the
Yeah, I
name.
liked it.
Yeah,
It helps that it's kind of evolved because before I was just kind of going with the name, but obviously gotten a little bit older, and the brand's kind of evolved a little bit to more mean like the physical and mental health wise, especially with poker players being so sedentary and the brutal mental aspect of poker. So I'm a big fitness guy, obviously working therapy, worked in fitness my whole life. So it was a good fit. Pardon the
do you
pun.
still work out as much? Because I remember you had like a body to, how do you say that in English? A body to be
Oh, right. Hey, thank
envious
you. I
of,
appreciate it.
huh?
I still try. Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely sticking to the routine. We had to shift gears a little bit with COVID, obviously, but we have the whole garage gym set up now. So the garage is full of equipment. No more trips to the gym for us. We get to go out into the front of the house and get a good workout in, and don't have to deal with any other people just using my equipment. It's all for us.
Okay, so do you know if there will be on Intertops any more satellites and stuff further down the road?
I I really hope so. It's kind of up in the air right now. I think they were kind of just waiting to see how it would go, given the COVID issues, obviously, because I know a lot of overseas, you guys are still restricted to even travel into the States. So I think a lot of people are still hesitant with that. I know they will eventually. It's just kind of waiting on COVID again, unfortunately. But I think we had a good turnout last night for the Intertops. Like I said, I think it'd be a good idea. You're getting a lot of people from the States to play that event anyway. So, if we can get another decent run, hopefully get at least one more out there for Vegas. But in the future, I'd love to go back to St. Martin with you. I'm always looking forward to that. And
Yeah, yeah.
whether it's
Yeah, I heard something about
WSOP,
there might be something, but it's too early to tell because there
yeah,
might be something similar when we come closing in on the winter
yeah.
for us living in the northern hemisphere, and maybe that would be a good aim to go for after the World Series to aim for maybe St. Martin or similar.
Yeah, well, St. Martin was always a blast. That last one with the ATVs and everything that went on. I mean, they put on such a good show. I mean, that was TKPT, right? Or was that WSOP?
No, that was the TKPT. Yeah,
Yeah, he puts on a great show. I mean, his
yeah.
overall event is just so amazing. He does such a good job that even without the ATVs, it would have been a blast. But it's icing on the cake for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But that's great. I mean, so you think you're gonna go back and play some more online now, and will you? How long will you be in Vegas for? Do you know that already? And what dates are the ones when you are going there?
So far, it's back to being a more domesticated full-time employee type stuff. But we're gonna take the week of it's the 8th to the 12th, the 13th of October are the dates for the Millie Maker. So we'll be out there for that at the very least. It's crazy right now with travel and everything. As I said, a little bit older, we're working full time and still trying to do this on the side. So I'm okay with just hanging out. I had this conversation with, I got a shout out to Brian Fight of Turbo Kings, but he's an online pro and he's out of Texas as well. So he went up to the Choctaw WPT and was posted and put up some stuff on social media about how it's so much better just to grind from your house, like just to sit and grind online. You don't have to deal with all the lines. You don't have to deal with all the people, the drives, the expensive food, hotel costs, all of it. There's something definitely to be able just to grind at home in the comfort of your own home and play some poker. I think Intertops has it right, with the events that they put on. Once in a while, go out, enjoy it, go play poker, but they do it more for the experience of it, where it's going out, you're playing a great tournament, but you're also going for the experience and the event and everything that goes along with it. So I'm okay with going to Vegas once a year, playing some poker, and then grinding out the rest of it.
Yeah,
from the
I
comfort
got
of
you.
my messy office.
No, I think I've been to Vegas. I mean, maybe 12 times during the World Series, something
Oh my
10
gosh.
10 to 12 times, 10 years in a row or something like that. And it
Wow.
is a very special thing to be there, and just
Sure.
to see and hopefully I think people has become a bit more humble
Oh yeah.
over the last year, and more humble towards each other, thinking more of an empathic thought between people.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
I think so. I mean, it's definitely put things in perspective for a lot of people. I mean, uh, just the whole fact that we get to play poker for fun, or these people that do still play for a living. I mean, they took that away from them, right? Especially the live players. You get to play a game for whether it's for a living or for fun to make some side money. It definitely put things in perspective real quick on what you could do and couldn't do with your time, and I feel bad for a lot of people who are playing live full time and got crushed, but they'll definitely be appreciative a lot more when it goes back into full swing. That's for sure.
Well, hopefully, it's done some good to people who had to find another way to make a living, and had
Yeah,
to dig into, maybe study a bit more, and get
yeah,
another proper job, and maybe they can
yeah,
mix that up if we get back to be able to play live poker again.
yeah. I mean, in that sense, it was the same thing when I transitioned back to therapy. Uh, just the grind of travel and the ups and downs of your finances for poker. It was very tough to do, and have family life at the same time. It's a very hard balance. That's part of the reason I transitioned away from the live stuff in general anyway. And going back to work, I was very fortunate to meet with Intertops because I already had a good career, to fall back on. Like I said, very lucky in that sense. But like you just said, a lot of people, they had to figure that out real quick during COVID, and it definitely, I think, for a lot of people, myself included, it's much nicer. It's much more fun to play poker when you're not worried about you're not being able to pay your bills or things like that, or balancing out stuff with your family time. So yeah, having a good full job to fall back on makes poker that much sweeter when you don't have to worry.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that's important. But besides playing in Vegas, for example, since you've been in Vegas a few times, what are the things for those who haven't been able to get there and to play live? What is it that kind of is magical about going to the World Series and playing in
Oh man.
Vegas?
Well, so I can't. You've been at 10 years in a row. I've only done like three, and so that first trip with what was that, 2017 when I met you. That first trip out there, that was like I just dove in. That was my first time out there. It was blinded, bells and whistles. It was the experience that all poker players kind of dream of, where I got to be able to go and just be fully immersed in it for like the 2 months we were out there. Um, I think as a degenerate poker player, you don't take advantage of so much of the stuff that's out there because of there's so much poker, and you just want to win, and you just want your name up in lights in there. You're searching for that super score. Um, it it's very funny, now that I look back on it. I don't regret any of that experience at all, but at the same time, it's not the glitz and glamour of like a really well put together show like WPT or the EPTs on. It's a grind. It's definitely a grind. It's worth it. It's a poker player heaven for sure. There's games 24/7. I mean, there's huge games 24/7, and for just months straight, you could just play every single day, all day. So poker wise, it's heaven. Lifestyle wise,
I
it
know, I
might
know.
it might be a little bad for your health, both mental and physical, but it's definitely worth the trip.
Yeah, I think I remember, Martin Jacobson when he won, was it 2014, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that. And they had a good gym at Rio, and people were getting more concerned about staying fit. That was only, I mean, in the beginning, in the 2000s, people weren't that bothered about it. And
No.
and people started to notice that if you stay fit, you are able to play all those hours and staying sharp, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, he was big into that too. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, he was big. I remember he had his patches on. He had all these supplement patches on and stuff for brain health and everything, and then and mental health supplements. And I was like, oh man, he's into it. Yeah, that was like the transition. That year was probably the shift over there where people started to realize, hey, if my brain functions better when I'm healthier. Shocker, right? Like when I'm not 50 pounds overweight and eating the trash casino food all day long, I might actually do better in these things. But
Yeah, yeah, but it's funny when you look back on like the really old clips from the 1900s, the old clips from the
oh
80s and
man, yeah.
90s, and everyone was like totally unfit
Oh my God,
and they were
just so
old, and
overweight,
yeah,
smoking in the
yeah,
casino
yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
It was just a hot mess of people back then.
yeah,
But
yeah.
some
That's
great
good.
players still. Hey, imagine how much better they would have been if they actually weren't destroying themselves every
Yeah,
day when they went in there.
yeah. Well, we really look forward to be able to go to Vegas again. I really hope I can
Yeah, no,
get there this year as well.
it's a blast, and like I said, that's why it's way more fun when you have those groups to go with for these kind of events because we'll go out and we'll make a real trip out of it and make it something special,
Yeah,
especially for those people if it's like their first trip out there. It's definitely if
yeah.
you haven't done it, it's definitely worth
Yeah,
it.
I remember the first few years I went there, I was just in the Rio Convention Center all the time, and then I realized that you have to go
Yeah,
out and see
you
maybe a
got yeah,
show, and there's some
yeah,
amazing shows there. There are amazing restaurants. Just going out watching people,
yeah,
staying
yeah,
at the
for sure.
Bellagio fountain or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So
it's very easy to just be pulled into just being in it, especially in the Rio. Like you could there's stuff for you to do. You could just be in there and just pulled in for days at a time and then be like, oh my, I gotta go get some sunlight. Jeez.
yeah, but that's great, Tim. When we get closer to, did you say so? Quite early in October, right? When you're going
Yeah,
there?
it's like the second week of October.
Yeah.
And so we still got plenty of time if they do like run some more of the satellites. I hope they do, but either way, we'll be out there, and there's already a decent group of. I don't know if you remember Chris Perkins. He'll be out there playing for the whole series and stuff. So it'd be a good group of people to kind of get together for
That's
a good
good.
time.
That's good. We're looking forward to that, and as I
Good
said,
blast.
we're looking back to Intertops Poker continuing to doing well what they done before and picking up speed again now when we're getting back on track.
Yeah, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
We could
yeah.
just everybody stay healthy for a few more months. We could get back to normal and hopefully get back to these events because I know I'm missing them. I'm missing the beach. I know that one.
That's great. Okay, Tim, it was really nice talking to you, and let's have a new talk when we get closer to the trip, and we'll see if some other guys comes along, and maybe we'll be a group over there eventually.
that that sounds great, man. I look
Okay,
forward to it.
yeah, take care, and we'll talk soon again.
All right. Bye bye.
Yeah, that was a talk with Tim O'Keefe. I really enjoyed it. We will meet him soon, and hopefully we get to those Intertops qualifiers and tournaments that we can go to soon and meet our friends there. And we know that Tim is going to go to the World Series this year. We're going to follow him closely. Maybe we will get there as well. I hope so. Thank you for watching, and thanks again to Intertops Poker for making this series available for all you guys there. Talk to you soon again.